Give some vlogging tips. So we could call it how not to vlog. I'm interrupting his day basically. This could be the soundtrack for the vlog. Intro done, thank you. So today I thought I'd give some vlogging tips. So we could call it how not to vlog. It's one of those weeks where I don't feel I have many ideas, so this is the first thing that came to mind and I'm just gonna run with it. It's been a challenging week. Time seems to have flown by. It doesn't always go to plan. In fact, it rarely goes to plan. So this week's vlog contains vlogging tips from somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing. You probably shouldn't listen to any of these tips. I have no idea whether I'm going to number these. Should I number them? Okay, number 1, just get started. Just do it. Cliche as that sounds, everyone just says that, right? Just get started, but it's so true. Do it. Do stuff that forever will make you cringe, and that's okay. What I had to do was to set myself the task of producing 1 vlog a week for 12 weeks without fail. By giving myself that constraint, it forced me to get stuff done and to just start. I also told many people to hold myself accountable. The amount of times I've wanted to let the excuses creep in. It doesn't matter if I miss this week. Trust me, for me, the way my mind works, I have to stick to doing 1 vlog a week for this 12 weeks. Set an intent and follow through. So perhaps make yourself a deadline, a cut-off point to release whatever it is you're going to release, whether it's a vlog, a blog, whatever, and hold yourself accountable to that deadline. Make sure you release the work and show your work, warts and all. Just getting started and having a deadline where I must release whatever it is I'm going to release is a must for me, somebody who's a procrastinator. I'm my own harshest critic too. I never feel it's finished, I never feel it's good enough, so I have to ignore those voices and just go, do it, release. I know this from trying to produce and write music in the past, where basically I ended up with a load of unfinished songs because of this self-critique and not having a cut-off point. A lot of the procrastination is down to worry and fear of rejection, of course, which we all have. It's completely normal, so try and be brave. Basically, you are ready. Just start making stuff. Or alternatively, you aren't ready and it doesn't matter, start anyway. I'm sure everyone knows that feeling of not feeling ready yet and so delaying the process. A significant being for me, I'm not ready yet to become a father. Any parents will probably tell you that they never quite feel ready. There's always something to do. Yet baby comes and everything works out fine on the whole. You're not ready and never will be in regards to how you feel. You're never gonna feel 100% confident that I'm ready to go today. So accept that and do it anyway. Learn as you go. Otherwise you won't start. Which basically brings me back to, you're ready, just start making stuff. Damn, it's cold. Oh, excuse me, what point do I become a YouTuber? A YouTuber? I'm just messing around. But yeah, actually, at what point do I become a YouTuber? Am I doing it right? So I've got some lovely feedback on these vlogs from my friends and other people, and I really appreciate it all. The perception is, it looks like I know what I'm doing. I do not at all. Exteriors can be deceiving. Or maybe it looks exactly how it is, which is I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit. The vlog takes so much out of me. It's such a struggle. I thought it was going to be easier than, say, writing a blog, but I'm not sure there's much in it, to be honest. I just try different ideas, see how it fits, see how I respond. Do I like it? Do people like it? And it's just all trial and error. Learning as I go by getting started. This also applies to other media. Fancy yourself writing? Start microblogging on Instagram and Facebook. If you feel you can talk a lot, why not start with some audio and start podcasting? Just record your voice and see how it goes before you have to think about an end game of posting it somewhere. Or if, like me, you want to make video so that you can hide behind stylistic choices of many quick cut edits, then do that. More on that in a bit. Tip number 1.5. Don't recommend doing a blog outside when it's this damn cold. No decent microphone as well. Sorry about the wind. Tip number 2. Still like an artist. If you haven't read the book, you should. And I forgot I'll put a link in the description if I remember. Also, Show Your Work is awesome too. Even if you don't read it, you can take a quick look on one of those kind of summary review type sites. Essentially, it articulates much better than I some of the things I've already mentioned. You can make art whether you think you're ready or not. Nothing is original. There's nothing new under the sun and all that. And that's a good thing because it means you can get great ideas and inspiration from many sources. And the best type of art and artists I have influences from many sources. So if you don't like the term steal like an artist, because it has steal in it, pick some influences and some sources that really appeal to you. So find a vlog that you like, look at some shots or some editing techniques that you particularly like the style of, and do your version of it. Borrow it, steal it, whatever. Done over enough time and from enough sources, you can start to make it your own. And it will definitely serve as a catalyst to find your own style, as we are all an amalgamation of all our sources and those that came before us. We stand on the shoulders of giants. For example, I looked at one of the most influential YouTubers and vloggers out there, Casey Neistat. Neistat? From Casey, and you guys should know what I'm talking about. There's a couple of things that he does. So one of the typical things is to cut himself mid. It said cut himself mid-set. You get the idea. My sense of humor is terrible. Who knows why he really does it? I just thought it was pretty cool. Not insulting the audience's intelligence. They kind of know what's going on. He has a really good idea for the timing and pace of things to move it on, whatever, get on with. This became something that I got slightly addicted to, maybe to the point of over editing. You know, I'm having fun, learning stuff as I go. I also stole the idea of starting a thought and continue that thought in a different location. Different shots in different places. Result is my attempt to make lots of fast cut, different shot locations, always moving. No idea whether I'm close, but I'm having fun learning in the process. And that starts to give me a little bit of my style or habit, I guess. I'm often traveling, moving somewhere. I'm often walking around with a tripod in my face. So I don't know if that's my style. Far too soon to tell. Essentially, I kind of seen like the editing process like resampling a record, something I really used to enjoy. Basically chopping up a really cool, say, soul or funk record and reorganize it, resequencing. So I really love to chop stuff up. So I essentially resample myself, rambling on, and make it seem like I can make a coherent point. Number 3, gear. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm the stupid. Basically, I wanted to get rid of all excuses, not make a convoluted process. I shoot everything on my iPhone, I edit everything on my iPhone. No distractions, no excuses. Also, I feel that technological limitations and constraints help to breed creativity. I used to make music, for example. You have all the plugins and technology in the world, many tracks. Some of the best songs were made on 4 tracks. So I would purposely limit myself to help me be more creative, because that's what constraints can do. I'm also a big believer in this in my movement coaching, and many of the teachers that influenced me, my teachers, also share this common theme of constraints and limitations to help you find new creative pathways. Plus, I'm just lazy, man. It's easy. You got your phone with you everywhere. I'm always ready to film. I can edit anywhere on my commute and so on. I bought myself a clip-on mic, which I lost on my first use, so that wasn't very good. There is going to be some technical issues in regards to sound sometimes. That's probably the next thing I would upgrade next to get a decent mic. Point is, I didn't let it hold me back. Another thing I found quite useful, but I'm not using it as much these days, is a wide angle lens like that of a GoPro. You need to try and fit everything in a shot. You don't really want to put your phone on a tripod all the way over there in Jacksonville, where people jack your shit. A wide angle lens means you can put it closer. Number 4. Have a plan. Started out doing vlogging 101, I guess, which is to kind of record your day chronologically. Who's going to be interested in my day? Which doesn't take much planning because you're just recording things as you go. I realized that I wanted to try and get better at something in this process. You know, maybe I can learn something about storytelling or filmmaking. Grand schemes, and I'm still such a noob. You got to shoot for the stars, you know, trying to make an interesting story out of something mundane in my life. Tough to do. Or to try and make a point on a particular topic with many edits. AKA edit the hell out of something, piece it together so it kind of makes sense, like I mentioned earlier. So this takes a bit more planning. Have an idea of roughly what you want to shoot, what sort of shots you want to have in mind. These are all very basic things, and trust me, there's plenty more on YouTube if you look at, you know, basics of filmmaking or tips on vlogging. Remember, this is a vlog about what not to do. Have a look at some top tips on filmmaking, and I guarantee you most of them will say plan your shoot. Now really, all of these tips are pretty much me thinking aloud of things that I should be doing more of, and I still don't plan enough. Just a little bit here and there, just having a rough idea does help sometimes. For example, one of my vlogs, I wanted to talk about attention because I wasn't paying attention and I missed a train, and that became the whole thing. So I quickly wrote down a few bullet points of roughly the stuff I wanted to say and then just went with it. Sometimes, the rare occasions, like the Water and Willows one, I had an idea of some of the shots I wanted to get, which I collected over 2 days. I wanted to try and get some I guess, beautiful shots. That was the most I planned, I guess. So yes, have a little plan. It does tend to make the whole process easier. Number 5, self-awareness and authenticity, I guess. Sounds like such a contrived thing to say. Hey man, be more self-aware. Can you be a bit more authentic, please? So take this with a pinch of salt. It's very easy to output content and not be affected by being somebody else or being the person who you think others see you as, trying to meet expectations or act how you think other people expect you to act. So mimicking, borrowing from others, to some degree you can't help it because, as I mentioned before, we are kind of like an amalgamation of all our influences. Eventually you will start to find your voice. Deep down you kind of know who you are, what is your voice. It's just being brave enough to speak it. Try and find yourself and speak your truth. Or even better, share what's authentic to you. That way, if you think that you're acting up to the camera and it maybe feels a bit contrived, at least you know you're sharing things that are authentic to you. Now you probably don't know what that is yet, and that's okay. It's an ongoing process. I have no idea what my truth is on the whole. There's so many layers, deep layers that you have to peel back. Everything that we do is going to be a little bit contrived just from the very nature that we switch the camera on. We'll curate and show just the best bits of our lives to some degree. It's difficult not to do this. Even when trying to show a bad day, hey, I'm going to show myself going through something difficult, which I did do, and I tried to be as authentic as possible, but still felt contrived slightly. But basically get over that and do your best to speak your truth and be authentic, and you'll eventually start to dig and get through those layers to something that's a bit more from here. I don't think I have got there yet. There's still many more layers to peel away. I thought perhaps that 12 weeks worth of it would start to get somewhere, and it has, but I've still got a lot more layers to peel back. There's been times where I know that I'm close to it. I want to go on a rant and really just like kick off and say, but I'm holding back slightly. I know this, so given a few more weeks, I'm sure it'll start to come. But perhaps this experiment will be over by then, and perhaps there's something to motivate me to continue doing it, maybe not as regularly, and see if I can get to that inner true voice where I'm not holding back. I don't care about what others think, and just that can happen. What is the difference between truth and authenticity? I really don't intend this vlog to be that deep. It's meant to be about vlogging tips after all, or is it? A website that I came across discussing the difference between honesty and authenticity says something along the lines of, I'm going to try and be authentic and say that, hey man, right now I'm damn cold filming this vlog with no gloves. So I'm heading over to my mate Adam's. I'm not sure this is going to make the edit, and see if I can finish this last point. So now I've arrived at Adam's and I'm going to finish my ramble here. And Adam's just squirreling away in the corner there. I'm interrupting his day basically. Look at all his gear. We'll try not to get distracted. Authenticity is a term that's really dear to me. I think it's super important that we try and be authentic in everything we do. But I don't want to go too much off on a tangent and get too deep there. So I probably will leave you with... Okay, here's the website. It came up in a Google search when I was looking for something along the lines of the difference between honesty and authenticity. And it's quite an interesting read. Authenticity, on the other hand, comparing it to honesty, I think usually implies a lack of attempt to control another's perception. It means letting others see us as we are, warts and all. I think it also goes one more step. It means letting everyone see us in a way that's no different from how anyone else sees us. That is, we don't play favorites in terms of constructing alternative fictions to respective people. So that's as deep as I'm going to get, because this is meant to be tips that I don't really recommend, but how I do stuff. So there you have it. That's my kind of like rough process and ideas and just some thoughts surrounding this vlogging process. I might expand on that at some point and sort of dig deep into the, what I feel I've learned, what's been valuable from this whole process. So I'll see how it goes. I've got 2 more vlogs after this to perhaps do that, because it has been a great learning experience and it has revealed a lot about myself, I guess. Wasn't expecting it to be that profound. So until then, do all the usual stuff. Please like, comment and subscribe, because I never do this to camera, or I rarely do this to camera, and I don't know why you'd want to subscribe, but just do it anyway.
A sound created Ben's bare hands.